Back along with former NYPD Deputy Chief Edmund Hartnett. Edmund, what do police do now? There are suggestions that the young girl Rebecca was pushed off that tower and that she may not have committed suicide. What do you do now?
Well, in this case, the sheriff's office seems to be adamant that these two young ladies being ruled out as suspects. But I would hope that they're looking at a larger circle, that if there is some question that it's not a suicide, that all those leads are being tracked down. I would assume that's being done.
And, you know, the whole idea of the sheriff even discussing the girl's environment after he was so public, this sheriff judge, he was so public about, you know, we're going to make these bullies accountable and, you know, we're going to bring charges against them. And then to comment on her upbringing, is that?
It's confusing. The sheriff in this case has a reputation of being somewhat candid with the media. Actually, I find him refreshing, away from the norm. He seems to be very passionate when he speaks to the media. I'm hoping in this case his remarks may be taken out of context. I don't really understand why he went into such detail about the living conditions, the sleeping arrangements.
Irrelevant detail, to be honest with you, that she didn't have a bed specifically, that she slept on a recliner. Steve, what do you think of all this?
Well, honestly, I believe that the sheriff, while he may be candid, is also seemingly enjoying himself a little bit too much in the spotlight. I think he's just simply saying too much. I think at some point he should just back away from this and let the state attorney handle this case from here. He's made a lot of very inappropriate statements.
Like what?
Well, number one, what we've already discussed, which absolutely is out of left field, number one. Number two, when he said that he was not going to follow up on any of these leads, that where this girl is now saying on the internet in this forum that possibly she may have been involved in a murder instead of a suicide, and he's basically blowing that off and saying, no, we're not going to go down that road. Well, you know what? You have to go down that road, and you have no reason to say you won't, because now you have new information that you must react to. And the other thing that he said, which was very inappropriate, was about Jose Baez coming into this case and then him calling him out and basically saying that he shouldn't be allowing his client to plead not guilty to these charges.
Well,
I mean, that's ridiculous. Absolutely.
That's where I agree.
Is he the attorney too? I don't think so.
Yeah, and Chief, all right, you're Deputy Chief NYPD. You were a police commissioner in Yonkers, New York. I mean, when you get this kind of information and you look at the bigger circle, there's no question this girl was bullied and bullied to the point where she was beat up in school. She slit her own wrists. I mean, they literally terrified this girl. She had no peace, and she was 12 years old. But now, for them to be so cold, not just about as she's dead, so what, but she went to hell, and the suggestion that it might have been a murder, you don't just look for more people to charge with bullying.
No, in this case, as the attorney mentioned, there could be a circle of 10, 12, a whole cabal of 15 mean girls, so to speak. And I would hope that good detectives will get those young ladies with their parents and following all the rules of the Constitution and start tracking down where they were when this young lady met her death.
Yeah, there was the top of, I believe, a tower of a closed cement factory, was it? Sad, very sad. You know, I've seen a lot of suicides as a DA and a judge. That's a very unusual way to die for a 12-year-old girl.
My thoughts exactly.
Climbing all the way up to the top of a closed cement tower. Something ain't right there in River City. Steve and Edmund, thanks so much for being with us tonight. And coming up, why So Help Me God is now optional in the Air Force Academy's oath. The controversial details are next. And it's your last chance to vote in our Insta poll. Do you think the Air Force Academy should remove So Help Me God from its honor oath? Facebook or tweet me at Judge Jeanine.